What's going on, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it's a Thursday, January 9th, 2024. No, 2025. And we are going to preview the NFL Wildcard Weekend, the Super Wildcard Weekend, if you will. And before we get into that, just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X and Twitter at PodConvoPod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations, and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Magic Mind. Get 45% off your next Magic Mind purchase by going to magicmind.com/PCJAN. That is magicmind.com/PCJAN. What a week it has been, right? First, address the elephant in the room, and you might have heard it in the Martin Amini and tweet caps you'll hear that are released tomorrow. You're dealing with a throat issue, very bad cold, right? So my voice has been fighting through this. So we're gonna try to get through this as fast as we can because I can't really speak full. I'm getting a lot better. I was much worse over the past weekend and when the new year started. So I'm at the end of it, but that's why we're on our 2 week hiatus, just dealing with flu-like symptoms and cold symptoms. It was a mess. So I'm at the tail end. Still a little congested here in the throat right here, so you might see some random pauses so I can clear my throat. Obviously not on camera or mic, but we're still pushing through. We're still like manage, and I have to do this. This is my favorite thing to cover in sports is the NFL playoffs. And now we're here. Got through another season. This is what our fourth season covering the NFL, and now we're about to start the. Now we're gonna start the productive conversations about what's going to happen with Super Wildcard Weekend. You can check out our college football semifinal discussion as well with Ryan that's available. We'll react to that early next week, as well as we'll react to this on Tuesday. The episode will drop. So a lot of exciting things. Let's do it. And again, as we talked about on the tweet cap for Friday, and we'll mention it here, still our thoughts and prayers are with those who are dealing and fighting and surviving fires and the fires in Los Angeles. And my cat Larry is here. Obviously, I'm doing this in the living room, so yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that. But let's go through their games. One of 2 weekends I absolutely love. I mean, I love every single week in the. I love every single weekend on the NFL playoffs. Um, Obviously, Wildcard Weekend has a special spot, but as well as next week's divisional round. But I love this stuff, so let's talk all about it. So first, Saturday, January 11th, 4:30 p.m. CBS, the Los Angeles Chargers on the road against the Houston Texans in the tradition of having the early Saturday game include the Houston Texans, usually at home, winning the AFC South this year. So let's talk about this matchup really quick. Spread is -3 points for the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that killed their over-under this year. A team rebuilt that had a rebuild go very fast in the Jim Harbaugh era. Team's mostly healthy for the most part, adding Ezekiel Elliott to the offense. Such an explosive team offensively and an underrated team defensively as well. The Houston Texans team, who we have seen CJ Stroud have a sophomore slump, where we have seen almost every single one of his main receivers either lose out on their season, Tank Dell or Stephon Diggs, or miss significant time in Nico Collins. And while their line hasn't been as good, their defense hasn't been as prominent last year. The Texans still took advantage of a weak division and are playing in this special game. So respect to all of that of what's going on there. but I think the 3.5 point spread for the Chargers is the way to go here, thanks to the disarray that's happened through the Texans season, despite getting 10 wins respectfully, but haven't been as good or as explosive as they were. They did win a playoff game last year, but I think the season will end with a better team beating them, and they could go back to the drawing board to figure out what went wrong. Like CJ Stroud will shake off the sophomore slump, and ultimately the Chargers, with their explosive offense, I think they could score points easily, and that 3 point spread is not too crazy. So give me the Chargers -3 to get them into the divisional round. And the other Saturday game, 8 o'clock on Amazon Prime, we have the classic rivalry in the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. These two teams didn't play each other that long ago. The Ravens took care of the Steelers, winning 34-17 right before Christmas. The Steelers have had a tough end of the season, no doubt. Hanging on, but still being able to put themselves in this position. The Ravens ultimately win, and we might see Lamar Jackson get another MVP this year. Despite the Zay Flowers injury, it is a big spread. And while I do think the Ravens will somewhat easily win this game, it wouldn't be too crazy to take the plus 9.5 points, as naturally those big spreads don't always pan out in the NFL. But I think the Ravens will win easily. I think the Steelers will go out in somewhat of a blaze of glory. Many highs and lows this season, whether it's disciplinary issues, whether it's figuring out what's going on with the quarterback. Steelers made a run, but they've had an ugly month, pretty much. But luckily, they were able to get themselves in this position. They have lost 4 in a row, but I think the losing will continue, unfortunately. And they will go out another early exit that's happened lately here in the Mike Tomlin era. And the Ravens, with lots of momentum, get themselves back in the divisional round. And they will get that win easily. While I do say take the plus 9.5 points, Baltimore's easily going to win this game. And that'll round out your Saturday games. Wildcard Sunday, perfect. One game at 1, 4:30, and 8. Classic, right? With the 1 o'clock Broncos and the Bills, another big spread, Buffalo -8.5. I feel like we often see this home wildcard game with the Josh Allen Bills. And again, while the Broncos have had quite an impressive season, finally back in the playoffs for the first time since 2013, and then playing with house money as well, I do think this Bills team can get points. I think they're way more explosive offensively. Josh Allen also playing like an MVP and playing a heck and playing and figuring out with people like Keon Coleman, Will Shakir. James Cook established himself as one of the best running backs in the NFL this season. And again, Josh Allen also playing like an MVP. I might take the risk and feel like that they can, with the home field advantage, cover that -9 and 8.5 points. I think they can easily win by 9. I think this is just the Bills' game to win, while the Broncos just have an amazing future ahead of them for what they pulled off here in Sean Payton's second year and Bo Nix's first year as a starter. It's going to be the Bills -8.5. Packers Eagles, the return of Jalen Hurts, a rested Eagles team taking on a Packers team that lost one of their better receivers, a banged up Jordan Love as well with that elbow injury. And while the Packers definitely have been impressive to get to this position, getting back to the playoffs once again with Jordan Love, the Eagles -4.5 is where I will lean towards that. They have definitely been one of the better teams in the NFC, and at one point looking like the best team in the NFC. It seems that the Lions have gone back to form, and obviously they're the ones with the bye this week. While the Eagles are definitely a team to watch out for, I think that minus 4.5 point spread can easily be covered for the Eagles, thanks to what they have been able to turn into defensively. Obviously, the Saquon factor played a big factor, and a healthy Jalen Hurts. Give me Philly minus 4.5 because of that, and the Packers being banged up. That'll be 4:30 on Fox, and then NBC. The game I'm personally most excited for this wild card weekend: Washington Commanders taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Tampa having a 3-point spread towards them. And while the Bucks have been doing nothing but scoring, while they've done nothing but score lately, with their backs against the wall, winning the division outright at the end at home, they win the division in the NFC South, and the Commanders, in a rejuvenated spirit, at the start of the Jaden Daniels era, while the team went back and forth. Heck, by the time Sunday afternoon, my decision might change, but I think because the Commanders' defense isn't as strong as they can be, even though time to time they do have the Marshawn Lattimore factor going against Mike Evans. We know that classic rivalry of the great defensive back and the great wide receiver. But on top of all of that, the Bucks are healthy. They know how to score. They've been playing great on defense, better on defense lately as well. For now, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay -3, but wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders can outright win as well. So for now, for the sake of this, my pick will be Commanders -3, but I really do love the Commanders as well. But I'll go with my gut and go because I just think the better offense going up against the so-so defense. Give me Tampa over Washington. And then Monday, even with the factors going on in Los Angeles, good chance that this game is moved to Phoenix. I do think with the close 1-point spread going to Minnesota, I'm actually going to go with the Rams. I think the Vikings are going to do another disappointing loss as their franchise has done. The Rams are better than I think people think and are kind of underestimated, especially with one of the best duos offensively for Kupp and Puka. Kieran Williams has become as a top running back. Matt Stafford still having it. Although obviously everything points to the Vikings offensively being as explosive as ever. Tough loss at the end of Sunday night to get themselves in this game instead of a bye. I actually think watch out for the Rams. Give me Rams +1 to get the victory there. So that will be my picks. That'll be my preview, the productive preview of Wildcard Weekend. Again, Chargers -3, Steelers +9.5, Broncos Buffalo -8.5, Philly -4.5, Tampa -3, and the Rams +1. Those are my picks. I'll be back with you on Tuesday to react to it. And yeah, hoping my voice is 100% better. Doesn't feel like something's blocking it with the congestion. But that'll complete our show today. That's the productive Wildcard Weekend preview. And I'll be seeing you all on Tuesday to discuss the Wildcard Weekend. And then we will preview the divisional weekend later in the week. So good stuff there. And then we will do a reaction to college football, the semifinals, preview the national championship next week, 2 tweet caps, and a special Magic Mind sponsored show as well. So I love you all. The Productive Nation is king, queen, and everything else. And we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.